Hello and welcome to our second Chicks Chat that I really wanted to deep dive with you about is kind of your transition and transformation. Like that's what we all go through. They say that you have like 11 jobs throughout your life on average. And I think maybe you live in 11 homes too, or something weird like that. So it's like there's a lot of change and growth, and that's something that women, of course, we go through all these different stages, especially then getting married, having kids, and different relationships and all of that. So give us a little background, first of all, on who is Laura Nance. I love that existential question.
Well,
and let's start there and then kind of take us through your journey.
Well, Laura Nance is a mom and a wife. A personal stylist, helping women feel empowered when they get dressed. I'm a stylist for Parkland Jewelry, so I also sell accessories and help women, pair accessories with the things they've got in their closet. I'm an animal lover, I'm an animal rescuer, I'm a daughter, a friend, and a proud Oklahoman.
That's right. We love Oklahoma City, and we're here to keep making it better, right?
Absolutely.
So we're not going to complain. We're going to keep making it better.
Absolutely.
And there are so many amazing things that are happening here, so that's great. So you are wearing some Parkland. So give us a little bit about what drew you to that brand.
So I just love an arm party. More is more. So I just have some fun gold bracelets. Parkland has some designer inspired pieces. Okay. So a couple of these are designer inspired at much less of a price tag. So always love that. And then just a fun layered necklace. This one will double. So it's got a little movement, a little texture.
So
and then I paired it with, I'm kind of obsessed with bees right now.
Okay.
I think there's so much, it's just such a, I think is it harmony? I can't remember what the B stands for, but you see it in a lot of brands.
Right.
And I just be where you are, be who you are.
B-E with B-E.
Yeah. Exactly. So, that's kind of how I feel when I put on, particularly one of our pieces that have bees. But it's a great line, huge variety. I think there's something for everyone. When you look at the catalog, you look online, you may say, I love that, but I would never wear that. Well, somebody will. And it's just nice to have that huge variety for all different styles.
Right.
And I think that's one thing that drew me to it. I had been with another accessories company for 8 years. It was my step into a multi-level marketing company that I never expected, but what drew me is styling and the style. And I loved my time with that company, but I felt like there were some things that were missing. There was some authenticity that was missing for me. And so this, they called me and we talked and it worked out.
Awesome.
And I'm enjoying it and my customers are loving it. And I just feel like I have, more to offer with this line. So that's kind of what drew me to it.
Okay, so speaking of transitions and transformation then, so not only did you switch that brand after 8 years, but prior to that, you were in more of a corporate environment, and then you decided to go out on your own. So kind of take us through that thought process of how that happened.
I think, most of my background has been in public relations, media relations. I started in, actually my first job out of college was with American Fidelity in their communications department. I quickly got involved with the United Way campaign from a company standpoint, and I fell in love with United Way and the community giving and supporting, and so I went to work for United Way, and the Arts Council. I had lots of nonprofit jobs. I worked for a short time in an ad agency, and that's what got me thinking about going out on my own. So I went out on my own a while back, after working for a while, going out on my own, and worked with great clients and loved it. It was when I was pregnant and my son was a baby, so it was kind of the perfect, time that we could have together until he got mobile and all that. But so I did my own PR thing for a while, and then started craving to be back with
humans,
yes, and people. And
don't you think that's one of the toughest things about being a solopreneur is that you miss the connection, especially if you're an extrovert,
right?
Like
and
what
you
we
need,
both
right,
are.
and you need that connection. So went to work for the Convention Visitors Bureau promoting Oklahoma City, which was a dream job, and loved every minute there. But then as my son was in a different phase in his life, I was leaving him, at aftercare at school, and I felt like I was constantly racing. And I was craving that just control and flexibility. And so that was 8 years ago.
Wow.
And have not looked back. Now I've, picked up a PR project here and there, which that's what makes me tick. It's the
that's
sharing.
still the flexibility and the freedom.
And so I even feel like now, switching to Park Lane, I mean, I will be 51 this month. And
you look fabulous.
Well, thank you.
Fabulous.
And I'm a caretaker for my mom. I'm an only child, and then I have an only child, and he's a senior. And so I almost feel like I'm in a different transition right now, and the flexibility.
Kind of the sandwich.
Yes, the sandwich.
That's what they call it, the sandwich generation.
But just continuing to crave that flexibility and where I can make a difference. And that's always been important to me, but it continues, to be that right now.
Well, you did a wonderful talk for our Learn and Lead Luncheon for Chicks in Charge, and it was how to be your own PR rock star. And one of the things that really struck me about the conversation that I keep thinking about is you said that you have to let go of the fear and just go for it.
Right.
You have to have courage. And so obviously you going out on your own and then even deciding to make that change. Like so many women have that fear that I don't know what to do in the next stage. And then now, like you said, your son is going to be leaving and then you'll be an empty nester. I don't want you to cry on camera here, but I've been through that. I've had 2 that are in college now, and it is very emotional. And so how do you find the courage to get over that hump and to just keep going to the next thing?
I think when, I just think back to when I did it the first time. And then if I have that, which, I was, in my early 30s, again, before, I had Max. And so it was, that was some bravery. I thought to myself, I was like, that was pretty brave to do that. And a little bit going out into the unknown. I mean, I had, of course, chatted with some of my favorite solopreneurs, girl bosses, and got some great guidance. But I think each time I've thought about making a change and get that nervous feeling, or can I, or should I, and I just, there's no rules. And I just think back that I've done it before, and that, like, life is sometimes about reinvention, whether it's a personal or professional.
It is.
And it's kind of feeling that fear and doing it anyway, because what's the worst that can happen? And I think, like I shared at the luncheon, I think the scariest thing would be not trying.
To sit there and go, wow, I could have done that
Right.
at some point in the future. And that's what we all hear about,
Right.
those people that are on their deathbed saying, wow, I regret that I didn't do the things that I wanted to do when I had the chance to do them. And sometimes we don't know if we're going to get that chance again.
Right.
And so listening to ourselves and kind of being in alignment and saying what's going to be right for me right now, even though we don't know for sure.
Right.
Like there's no certainty to it.
Just almost like a stillness, just kind of being still with yourself and listening to, because I think in our world, we're not still that often. We're looking, or we're reading, or we're talking, or we're texting, or searching, and just, I think, getting still and thinking about, where am I, and, where can I go?
Yeah. So tell me this then, when you're talking about stillness, I know that fitness and taking care of yourself is a hugely important part of your life.
Yes.
And so tell us that. I mean, going out, like you said, as you were a woman in your 40s at the time, to say, I'm going to go out and I'm going to teach a fitness class.
Yes, I did. I became certified to teach Pure Barre right before I turned 50.
That's
so
amazing.
A little over a year ago. And it was, for me, it was about, again, back to empowerment. I love the camaraderie in a fitness class of seeing people get stronger, and I was never afraid to go up to somebody, even if I didn't know them, and say, you held that plank like a boss. And, so watching, people get stronger and feel confident and knowing that you had a little bit of part in guiding them.
Right.
So that's kind of what appealed to me about that. And while I'm not currently teaching, I expect I'll go back to that sometime, because I do love that environment. But I continue to do Pure Barre as a client because I feel pretty strongly about the workout and how it's helped me.
Right.
I think as you get older, you think about, I was an avid runner. I've run some marathons. I don't run as much anymore, but it's the pounding and just your body changes, and it's okay to change things up.
Absolutely. And really essential to change things
because
up.
you get used to it and you get in that rut, and then you're more likely to give it up. So, just moving and again, stillness, meditating, yoga, whatever, a walk around your neighborhood, whatever floats your boat. I think it's just important to keep that as part of your life. Keeps your head clear.
Well, and I think, that's so important too and there's all these studies on how it reduces stress, to make ourselves move every day, move and stretch and build muscles, because every year we're losing bone mass and all that. And I know that if I don't work out and if I don't lift weights and I feel weak, then I'm going to not have as much energy.
Exactly.
And so we don't realize, like, we're expending all that and we think, I'm going to be exhausted, but it makes us stronger.
It's setting yourself up for success, which is one of my, I think, biggest, mom statements to my son, as he navigates, preparing for college and even studying and challenging himself. I'm like, set yourself up for success. Start yourself on a firm foundation.
Right.
And if it's 30 minutes in the morning of exercise or journaling or sitting quiet, drinking your coffee, whatever that's like to you, just setting yourself up to be successful and be strong all day long.
I love that.
So.
I love that. Okay, so leave us with this. What is the favorite piece of advice that you've ever received that you would like to pass on to our viewers?
Gosh, it gives me chills when you ask me that question. It was, I feel like I've had lots of good advice, but my high school English teacher, who was really just such an impact and part of my life and why I wanted to pursue journalism and explored writing, I remember he gave me a card for my birthday. I think it was my 16th birthday, and the quote in there was from The Little Prince, and I might butcher it, but you'll get the gist. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. And so much about, looking from your heart and letting your heart guide you and finding those little blessings and blossoms, even when maybe it's not so easy. So.
Wow, that is beautiful.
So
I love that so much.
He was amazing and passed away, years ago, but he just was such a mentor to me and touched lots of kids' lives. And so that's the one I always remember.
I love that. Well, we're going to remember that now then. Thank you for passing that along. And let's go with what is making Laura Nance smile today.
It's Friday. I've had a great week. Even a short week, sometimes throws you off. It's been a good week. So yeah, just that Friday feel and a little fall.
Yeah, fall is right around the corner. We can't wait. I know it's like 100,
but we're pretending.
But got my jeans on. We're gonna pretend that fall is just right around the corner. So thank you so much,
It was so fun.
Laura.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that you're a part of our flock, and you guys stay tuned for more videos.